Imagine the blinding light of the sun, a warmth that nurtures life, a beauty that inspires art. Now, imagine that same light scorching the earth, its rays turning to arrows of pure destruction. What happens when a mortal, blinded by their own pride, stares directly into that divine fire and challenges the God who wields it? The answer is not enlightenment. It is a scream swallowed by an eternal silence, a lesson etched in blood and tears. For those who dared to defy Apollo soon learned. The God of light casts the darkest shadows. Welcome, seekers of myth. Today, we journey into the heart of divine fury. We will look past the golden lyre and laurel wreath to uncover the terrifying power of Apollo, the radiant god of the sun, music, prophecy, and, most ominously, plague. He is a deity of perfect harmony and chilling dissonance, a creator of beauty and a bringer of unspeakable ruin. His benevolence was a gift, but his anger, a curse from which there was no escape. In this chronicle, we will unearth the stories of those who, through arrogance or tragic misstep, provoked his wrath. We will witness the brutal punishments that followed, punishments that have echoed through the ages as dire warnings. Our first tale begins with a queen, Niobe of Thebes. A woman blessed by fortune, she had a powerful husband and, her greatest pride, 14 beautiful children, 7 sons and 7 daughters. Her city prospered, her family thrived, and in her heart, pride festered like a poison. During a festival honoring Leto, the mother of Apollo and his twin sister Artemis, Niobe stood before the assembled women of Thebes and mocked their worship. "Why honor Leto?" she sneered. "A goddess who bore only 2 children? Look at me. I am a living goddess, 14 times the mother she is. Her temple should be mine." The air grew cold. The women trembled, for they knew such words were not just foolish, they were sacrilege. Niobe had not simply insulted a goddess, she had challenged the divine order itself. The insult traveled on the wind, reaching the sacred isle of Delos, where Leto heard every venomous word. Distraught, she called upon her children. Apollo's golden eyes, usually filled with the warmth of the sun, turned as cold as marble. Artemis, the huntress, stood beside him, her silver bow gleaming with deadly promise. They descended from Olympus, cloaked in mist, their divine hearts filled with a chilling purpose. From the ramparts of Thebes, Apollo drew his golden bow. One by one, his invisible arrows found their marks. Niobe's 7 sons, practicing their athletics in a field, fell without a sound, each struck down by the god of plague and archery. A messenger, breathless and pale, brought the horrifying news to the palace. As Niobe rushed out, her heart shattering, she saw the work of Artemis begin. The moon goddess, with equal precision, sent her silver arrows into the hearts of Niobe's 7 daughters. The queen's world collapsed in a storm of silent, deadly shafts of light. She was left with nothing but 14 cold bodies, her prideful boasts turning to ash in her mouth. In her grief, she fled to Mount Sipylus, where the gods, perhaps in a final, cruel act of pity, turned her into a stone. And even today, it is said that from that rock face, a stream of water perpetually flows. The eternal tears of a queen who learned too late that the gods do not suffer rivals. The story of Niobe is a stark lesson in hubris, the sin of excessive pride. It warns that comparing oneself to the divine is an invitation to utter annihilation. But defiance was not always spoken. Sometimes it was sung. Our next story is of Marsyas, a satyr from Phrygia, a creature of the forest, wild and free. One day, wandering by a river, he found a flute cast aside by the goddess Athena. It was an aulos, a double pipe that, when played, produced a melody so enchanting that even the rocks and trees seemed to lean in to listen. Marsyas practiced, and his skill grew immense. His music was raw, emotional, and powerful, echoing the untamed spirit of nature itself. Soon, whispers of his talent spread, and in his own hubris he made a fatal error. He declared his music superior to that of Apollo, the master of the lyre and the very god of music. Apollo, whose music represented order, harmony, and civilized perfection, could not let such a challenge stand. A contest was declared, with the Muses, the goddesses of the arts, as judges. Marsyas played first. His melody was a whirlwind of passion, a song of the earth, of wild rivers and deep forests. The Muses were captivated. Then it was Apollo's turn. He cradled his golden lyre, and from its strings flowed a sound of such celestial beauty, such mathematical perfection and emotional depth, that it seemed the heavens themselves were singing. The music spoke of starlight, of cosmic order, and of the profound beauty of creation. The contest was close, but then Apollo added a new rule. The winner must be able to play their instrument upside down and sing at the same time, a feat impossible for a flute player, but simple for Apollo and his lyre. He won. The Muses declared him the victor. And then Apollo's smile vanished. His punishment for Marsyas's audacity was not swift. It was a terrifying spectacle. For challenging the divine source of art, Marsyas was hung from a pine tree and flayed alive. His skin, the vessel of his mortal pride, was peeled from his body as a gruesome trophy. The nymphs and satyrs of the forest wept for him, and their tears formed a new river, the Marsyas, a sorrowful stream that forever mourns the satyr who dared to duel a god. This horrifying tale symbolizes the eternal conflict between raw, untamed nature, chaos, and the refined, structured order of civilization and divine art. It's a chilling reminder that to Apollo, music was not just a pastime. It was a sacred domain, and trespassers would be punished with unimaginable cruelty. Sometimes Apollo's punishment was not physical, but a torment of the mind, a curse far more subtle and perhaps even more cruel. This is the tragedy of Cassandra, princess of Troy and a priestess in Apollo's own temple. Her beauty was so great that it captured the attention of the god himself. Apollo, desiring her, offered her a gift in exchange for her affection, the divine power of prophecy. Cassandra, clever and ambitious, accepted the gift. The god breathed his divine essence into her, and suddenly, the infinite threads of fate became visible to her. She could see the future. But when Apollo came to claim his prize, Cassandra, horrified by the prospect of being a god's mortal plaything, refused him. Apollo was incensed. He could not take back his gift. A divine promise is absolute, but he could alter it. He leaned in as if to kiss her, and instead spat in her mouth, binding her gift with a terrible curse. From that day forward, Cassandra would always speak the truth. She would foresee every disaster, every betrayal, every drop of blood to be spilled. But no one would ever believe her. Imagine the agony. She foresaw the Trojan horse, warning her people of the gift from the Greeks. They laughed at her, calling her mad. She screamed of the coming fire and the slaughter of her family. They locked her away. She was a prophetess in a world of the deaf, a lone voice of sanity in a city marching willfully toward its own doom. Her punishment was not a swift death, but a lifetime of watching the horrors she predicted come to pass, helpless and unheard. Cassandra's curse is a profound tragedy about the burden of truth in a world that prefers comforting lies. It is a psychological torment, a chilling example of Apollo's creative cruelty. These tales of Niobe, Marsyas, and Cassandra paint a terrifying portrait. They show us a god who demands absolute respect, a deity whose light can bring forth both golden harvests and devastating plagues. His punishments were not simple acts of anger. They were intricate, symbolic, and eternal. They served as fables, woven into the very fabric of Greek culture, to teach humanity its place. To be mortal was to be flawed, and to forget that was to invite the wrath of the heavens. From the weeping stone of Niobe to the wailing river of Marsyas and the unheard screams of Cassandra, the message is clear. The same God who inspires the most beautiful art and illuminates the world with his sun can also plunge those who defy him into an abyss of suffering. The God of light indeed casts the darkest shadows. If you were captivated by the chilling wrath of Apollo, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more untold myths from the ancient world. Let us know in the comments which god and darker side you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, may the gods favor your curiosity